Now, the Constitution prohibits the government from censoring much of the speech that we've come to know and love, but Facebook is imposing its own Silicon Valley brand of political correctness on its own social media platform. And Facebook banned provocateurs like Alex Jones, Milo, and even Louis Farrakhan. And now, the social media giant is going a step further by censoring conservative commentator Michelle Malkin, forget this, opposing Facebook censorship. Michelle joins me now. Her first television comments about all this. Michelle, in the post that was taken down, you said, I don't know how long it will be until I'm next. So I loved it. You kind of taunted them and you demonstrated what was going on. But are you now on the verge, do you think, of being just banned on Facebook?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are. And I think there's a commonality among many of the people who are being targeted on Facebook and on Twitter, on social media. I even have to worry about my own website at michellemalkin.com, which is hosted by WordPress, which is now going after people based on their ideological viewpoints. I do believe, Laura, that this is an existential battle. And I'm not saying that just because it's self-serving, because I've made a living over the last 20, 25 years, a lot of it online, and never had to worry about this kind of deplatforming. I'm saying this because we need a vibrant marketplace of ideas. We need an informed citizenry for a constitutional republic to function. And when Facebook and Silicon Valley overlords have their thumbs on the scale of free speech, that is a concern for all of us. Look, there's a lot of people who've been deplatformed that folks out there might be uncomfortable with. But all I did that caused Facebook to censor me, Laura, was simply stand up for a couple of my friends, Laura Loomer and Gavin McInnes. And now even I, using my Facebook platform that has 2.1 million followers, cannot even mention their names without being accused of violating the quote-unquote community standards of Facebook. There's a lot more going on here, Laura, and I believe that it has to do with the 2020 election and making sure that somehow those of us who support the agenda of President Trump are being throttled and managed and marginalized. And I'm sending up an alarm. I did it at CPAC, and I'll continue to use my platforms to do it until they kick me off. Yeah,
Michelle, I love the defiance. And Nick Clegg of Facebook was on TV this weekend, and he basically issued this warning.
The way that the rules of the internet are drawn today, in my view, or rather not drawn, will be quite different to the way they're drawn in 10 years' time. And I think big tech companies have a choice. Either they play ball and they try and play a responsible role in that debate, or they try and duck it altogether.
Well, look, Europe has gotten all over Facebook, been a lot tougher, frankly, than the United States in dealing with privacy issues. But he said we basically have no choice, Michelle.
Yeah. So what do people do? You know, a lot of people ask me after my CPAC speech and over the past year now that we've seen people disappear and be unpersoned. And the one thing that people can do is fight back with their pocketbooks and fight back with the voices that they do have and support the people who have disappeared. There's a website called fightthecensors.com that's helping people like Laura Loomer and Gavin McInnes, whose names I can't say on Facebook. I'd like to see if I can test the Facebook live stream function now, which is also being throttled. Apparently, if you violate their community standards, they'll take that away as well. But
Michelle,
I think that going after the underlying groups like the SPLC
Michelle,
and CARE that are going after them is how we have to fight back.
Michelle Malkin, we're going to continue to talk about this with you at a later date. Thank you so much. Stay there.